All right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Real Recovery Unplugged, and I'm your host, Dr. Haley. It has been a minute, and I am today just going to share how crazy life has been. And the purpose of today's episode is going to be goal setting and God's timing. And I think that this is a really interesting topic to talk about, especially from a personal perspective, because anyone that knows me knows that I am a goal setter. It's what I like to do. I was 15 years old and had a goal set that I was going to be a doctor, by the time I was 23. And I made those plans happen. But man, like sometimes we set a goal and we can be so strong-headed on that goal that is absolutely not either the right goal for us or it's not the right timing for it. And I've learned a lot of life lessons, and I am still learning those today. So let me just catch you guys up on life real quick. So I got married. I know I'm super blessed, super happy. It has been an absolute whirlwind. So Joey and I got engaged in May, and then we knew just like we're ready to be together and ready to make those promises before God. And so we got married. The week before that, Joey got his commercial fixed wing airplane license. So literally like the Friday before the wedding, he got that. And then we had the wedding the next week. And then the week after that, me and him were up till 2, 3 a.m. every night for about 4 nights in a row, finishing the build out of our brand new Real Recovery location. So that is now inside of Titus Sports Academy. And it's been a really cool partnership that we're doing with Adam. But needless to say, very, very busy times. And then Joey and I got one weekend together after the grand opening of a new location. So mind you, that's an insane week where I'm not home a ton. And we had one weekend together to just honestly catch up on a little bit of sleep and have a little bit of time together. And then he left for Texas, where he is now getting his helicopter add-on rating for his pilot's license. So he's going to be out there for the next month. And life has just been lifing. I think what I want to talk about like primarily today is finding God's timing in life. And, I didn't know that this is really where I was going to take this today. I've just found myself to be in this season where there has been so much going on and for a while now. And don't get me wrong, I'm used to being a busy girl. Like that is my MO. It's my toxic trait, as everyone likes to say, because I don't know how to say no to things. And I love to be a part of things, to help people, and just to continue to grow. I always feel like I have to be working towards something. But I want to break it down to sometimes whenever we are so busy setting goals and looking ahead to the future, we forget to be present. And sometimes whenever we are trying to be present in too many places at once, we're actually not present anywhere at all. And this lesson I have had to learn a few times, and I'm getting reminded of it right now, currently. With life, I think almost anyone could probably relate, right? If you're a high school student and you have classes going on and then sports and other club activities, and then you're trying to be social, but you're trying to be a good kid to your parents or a good sibling. You're trying to visit the grandparents, you're trying to make church or just these other events. That's a lot going on. And then you start feeling overwhelmed and you don't really know how to get yourself out of that hole. As a college student, right? You are going to classes, you're probably working a job too, either part-time or full-time to make ends meet. You're trying to maintain relationships with these friends that you had in high school while trying to find new friends that fit where you are in your stage of life. And again, you have the stress of classes and these people relying on you, and then your parents want to be checking in with you, and it's a lot. It can be overwhelming. You graduate college, you're a young adult, right? You're a young professional, and you are trying to launch your career. You're trying to find where do you fit in this world. You are dating or, trying to find that life partner. Do you have the right one, right? If it was someone that you were with in high school, have you guys grown together or have you grown apart? And you're then trying to find your social circle because now there's not these college meetups anymore. And so did you move away from college? Are you moving back home? Do you not know where you fit in anymore because you don't fit in with your high school friends? It can be a lot. And for me now, where I'm at in my late 20s, I'm going to be 28 this year, juggling 2 locations of a business, trying to then do marketing events, trying to create a new business that I'm excited to have this new venture coming soon. It'll be announced, but managing that, trying to launch the new business, and now becoming a new wife and a new marriage. And I really have found myself trying to do it all. And I feel like I already have hit a point where I've been doing things poorly. And I'm not going to say that things are bad. Like nothing is bad. Real Recovery is great. This new business launch is going to be amazing. Joey is a phenomenal husband. Like I am so, so blessed in so many ways, but I am always my hardest critic. And I think that most of us are our hardest critic and we get in our heads sometimes. And I recently, the last 3 days, I've been doing a lot of soul searching. I've been doing a lot of praying, and I've had to have some really hard talks with myself and be really honest with myself. Am I really fulfilling the things that God wants me to be fulfilling in his timing? Or am I trying to please everybody else? Or am I trying to just do all the things that I want to do that I deem are important? And it's not necessarily what God has for me in this season. For example, I have some other organizations that I'm trying to be a part of, and I feel like I have been letting them down and not being timely with texts and calls backs or with other duties. And they have been so understanding, and they know that it's been such a busy season in my life. But all I do is beat myself up on it every single day, knowing that I'm not giving that 100% because I just literally can't. Then forward to Real Recovery. As a provider, as a doctor, some days I feel like I'm not giving my 100% because my brain is so stretched to being the business owner and creating new systems and things like that. And that eats away at me. Then on the verse side of that, I feel like sometimes I'm being too much of a provider and I'm helping patients, which I love and is my passion. But then I feel like the actual operations of the business start to suffer. Because again, I'm spread too thin and I'm not able to then give that time to work on the business like I should to help ensure future growth and to just take care of all my staff and patients. That eats me alive every single day. I then, am trying to do more marketing, more outreach, sitting down, doing this podcast, filming this, right? And I have people that I check into to try to hold me accountable so that way we can kind of keep everything going. And then I know I'm not doing 100% at that because I'm stretched a little thin and I have other things going on. That eats me alive every single day. I have a phenomenal husband who is God-fearing and loves me, and I love him. And we are brand new in this journey. Literally yesterday was our 1 month anniversary, and he's been in Texas for 2 weeks now. But with all that being said, I now feel like, am I being the best wife that I possibly can be? Am I being supportive? Am I lifting him up and encouraging him while he's gone? Or again, am I stretched a little thin where I'm not giving that 100%? And that eats me alive every single night. All of these things start really building and then they come together and then it can feel really overwhelming and all encompassing all at once. So I say all this to say, I'm sharing my personal experience and being very raw and very open because I know that some of you have to be going through similar things in your own unique way, your own unique situation. And unfortunately, no one can really understand because there's only one of you. You are unique and you were beautifully made by God, but nobody else is going through the exact same struggles at the exact same time. So then we hit this period of, well, who do we talk to about this? Who can relate? Who can understand? And I'll be honest, I have some phenomenal people in my life that I do have the ability to reach out to. But I am definitely guilty of not being the person that reaches out for help or asks for help. I tend to be the first to offer to help others, and I tend to be the last person to ask for help myself. And my biggest thing has been really diving back into the Bible and really listening and reading and praying to God and asking for his help, but then waiting for it. And waiting does not come easy for me at all in any way, shape, or form. So I wanted to share a few things. One is going to be from actually one of my journals. I'm a big journaler. It's helps clear my head a little bit, but then it helps me have things to look back on to recognize where I came from or a previous struggle that I had. And then it lets me check in on it. Am I still having that same struggle, or have I done something to get a little bit better at that and improve that? And so this morning and yesterday really was a tough day. I was diving into the word, and it was so funny because Joey and I had a really long conversation Sunday just about like kind of everything that I had going on. And I then wanted to just have some time with God on it all. And sure enough, the devotional that popped up for yesterday, which was insanely fitting. And I love my devotion book, and I have several, but this one especially, I always feel like anytime I'm really going through it, and I'm kind of having that mental battle with myself, God seems to just speak like directly to me. And it's been really cool. So imagine going through all these things, kind of feeling these different ways and wondering what I'm really doing and how am I really going to be able to move forward and be efficient at things and be the best that I can be at things. And then my devotional yesterday is literally titled God's Timing for God's Plan. So I'm going to read it. Joseph was a man in the Bible whose life story has so much to teach us. Being thrown into a pit by his brothers, sold into slavery, and wrongfully imprisoned would make anyone feel pushed to the edge with bitterness and resentment. But what a lesson in God's redemption and the beauty that can come out of initial disappointments. Any dreams or goals Joseph might have had were undoubtedly shattered throughout his treacherous journey. Yet Joseph did not lose hope. In God's timing, and according to God's plan, Pharaoh met Joseph and placed him in charge of the whole land of Egypt. What a turn of events, a miraculous turnaround that, just like God, just like what he wants to do in your life. As you move forward like Joseph, decide ahead of time that you will not allow disappointments to derail your journey of faith. Even if things haven't turned out as you'd hoped and prayed, know that God loves you and his good plans for you are still unfolding. I believe future God appointments await you on the other side of your disappointments, just like they did for Joseph. And then it has a little prayer. Lord, you know my heart, God. Even so, I am glad I can be honest with you when I feel let down. I believe for divine appointments on the other side of my disappointments. And my disappointments right now are in myself. They're not in anything of the way things are going. I mean, I feel so unbelievably blessed, but sometimes when we think about disappointments, we think of how we were wronged somewhere or how there was failure somewhere. And that's not the case. I just feel like I'm failing myself and I'm failing those around me by not being 100% present where I need to be at all times. So, coming back to then this journey by faith and going through hard times and struggles and just really mentally getting in my own head. And I think that anybody who has a lot going on, especially a business owner or, you know, someone in a new marriage, perhaps, where you feel this pressure of like, you just want it to be absolutely perfect and you want to be like the best wife in the world or the best husband in the world. And I just want to be the best boss that I can be. I want to be the best doctor that I can be for my patients. And I want to be a great friend and a great family member, a great granddaughter, a great daughter, a great niece, a great cousin, a great sister. I have this page from December of 2023. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's before I met Joey. I knew he was around the corner or anything like that. And around this time, I was about to open a second location. I didn't know it yet. I had not even seen the space nor committed to the lease. But this is a time where I was trying to figure out, where am I going? What's the growth? What's the next step? And it's pretty cool. So this one is from Hebrews 11, verses 33 through 34. By faith, through faith conquered kingdoms, enforced justice, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions, quenched the power of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, who were made strong out of weakness, became mighty in war, put foreign armies to flight. And then we have Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 through 2. Let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith. And then Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. For the moment, all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. That one speaks heavy to me again today. And by being disciplined, it is sometimes just trusting God's timing. And again, the sermon I went to on Sunday, that's what the preacher was even saying. Like, God is totally speaking to me in this season of life right now. And sometimes I'm very guilty of sprinting towards goals, putting my head down and just absolutely grinding and just doing everything that I can to make that goal happen. And sometimes it's the right goal. It is God's plan, wrong timing. I'm trying to rush things, and God is trying to slow me down and to let me sit in the present and be present and trust his timing and moving forward. And I think that's where I am in life right now, is I need to not take a step back from anything, because everything, life still moves forward. And I think a lot of people get told, hey, you need to slow down. And I'm the first one guilty of this. I'm like, you have no idea. I can't slow down right now. Has to happen. But it's not even about that. It's about maybe, hey, like, you need to bring this back to God and trust his timing. And so for me, that's been the past few days, getting up early in the morning, and instead of going to the gym, I've been having Bible time and praying and just being in complete silence and trying to really discern what God wants me to prioritize right now and what he wants me to focus on. Later on in this journal entry, I kind of had, a prompt, and it was, what would the name of this chapter of your life be right now? And again, this was December of 2023. And I wrote, the one where she charges ahead. She does not look back. She does not self-sabotage. She loves herself, trusts God, and then will find love herself. And that's pretty cool. I just have a lot of memories like kind of fleshing my brain right now. But that was a time in life for me where I felt busy, chaotic. I was sprinting, but I didn't have a clear direction. And I just knew that God had a plan for me. And I just knew that I would have to slow things down and just really pray for his discernment. And not only did 2 months after this journal entry, I found a space for my new Crawfordville location that ended up being built out. Now it's been a thriving business for a year and a half down there. But 6 months later from that entry, I had my first date with Joey. And it is just absolutely amazing that God was preparing me that whole time and the years before that to do things, certain business things, the fellowship program, everything else that I needed to do in my season of singleness to then prepare me to meet my future husband. And one more quote that I really loved. It says, I found this on the internet somewhere, and I don't know who wrote it, but if you hear this, like, shout out to you. If you're serious about growth, be serious about accountability. If you're serious about abundance, be serious about gratitude. If you're serious about intimacy, be serious about vulnerability. If you're serious about discipline, be serious about delayed gratification. That's some good stuff right there. And I think that's really speaking to, if you are in a similar time of life right now, we are going through a lot of things. If you want to really grow from it, you need to take a deep dive into yourself and the people you're surrounding yourself with and be accountable to that. How are you spending your time? It can be staying busy and working towards things, but is it what God's timing is for you? Are you diving back into the word? Are you having a hard time to go to God with it because you're frustrated with how some things have gone lately? That's when you reach out to a friend or shoot me a message, anything like that, because you need people around you that are going to pray for you and lift you up. And I'm so lucky that I have a few prayer warriors in my life. But the first and foremost being, you need to come back to God. And he will give you that peace. He will give you that direction. If you want more in life, then you need to have gratitude about what you currently have. If we're always striving to grab something more that we don't currently have, we're never going to appreciate the abundance that we do get or that God blesses us with. And this one is a good one, for me, because I am really trying to build a thriving business so my family, hopefully future kids one day, can, not have certain struggles. But I need to remind myself of how grateful I should be and just have absolute gratitude for where I'm at in life right now and not try to be sprinting ahead and forcing things to happen very early on. I'm the first person to put so much pressure on myself, and I'll have so many people that, will congratulate me on things or say, Haley, like, it's an awesome place that you're at in life right now. And I'll be so guilty of doing this, and I will minimize all of that, and I'll say I'm nowhere close to where I want to be yet. And I think that's a great thing for, an entrepreneurship mindset, but it can be a very toxic thing too, because it's not having gratitude for where God's brought me so far. If you're serious about intimacy, be serious about vulnerability. Man, that one's tough. I'm so guilty sometimes of really trying to build relationships. And for example, just of a personal life, I so badly wanted a life partner, and I wanted to find my husband and all these things. Yet I was not being vulnerable. I was not being vulnerable with myself. I had my heart guarded, and I didn't even want to, what I kind of would joke with my therapist was like, feel my feelings. And it took some time to really work on that. And then just intimacy and vulnerability, in life and business, right? If I want to really create great relationships with my patients or with my staff, I think it's so important to be vulnerable to them, to let them know that I have similar struggles or similar thoughts or experiences, and just really relate to them. And it's been so cool because some of the times that I've been most vulnerable with patients, and I was nervous to be that vulnerable with a patient, it turned out to be one of the best experiences. I had a patient just a few weeks ago, and first time I ever met her, and I was doing an eval with her, and I'm not going to disclose too much information, but she is in her 60s, and she has just been going through life, and she's had some tragic things happen to her since about 2017. And so it was just like every year, it was just like one more thing, a major death, a major like hurricane disaster. There was other things happening with personal relationships, and just, she was just getting hit and hit and hit. And then she's coming to me because she has all this chronic pain and just can't even walk down the road with her body because her whole body will cramp up, or her nerve pain will be so unreal that she can't even stand her like pants touching her leg. And we started really talking about all these things. And of course, we went through, MRIs, and we went through imaging, and we went through all the science reasons and everything. But then we really had a heart to heart talk. And I said, all these things kind of just seemed like they happened out of the blue. And then she started disclosing that around that time is when all these life events started happening. And as we were talking through it, there's obviously some emotions at play. And I had the overwhelming urge to pray for her out loud right then and there. I was so running behind with my other patients, and, apologies guys, but I just felt like I needed to be more present in that little treatment room and have this prayer with this person. And so I asked her if it was okay. And I don't even know what I said, because I just felt like God spoke whatever he needed to for her. And I've never been more nervous to pray for someone in my life. But after I did, the gratitude that came from that and the relationship that came from that, and we've been working together, we've been making a lot of great progress, but man, the connection that came from that. And it was one of the most phenomenal experiences ever. And just to be able to have the opportunity to do that, but then to be able to have the courage to be vulnerable in that time, both on her part, and then for me allowing to let myself listen to what God wanted me to do. It was one of the best experiences ever. And the last one, if you're serious about discipline, be serious about delayed gratification. And that's a great one too, because I feel like sometimes in life, we're all trying to be good. We're trying to do the right things. And then we feel like we don't have this immediate response of our life being turned around, or of us losing weight, or of us meeting XYZ career marker, or getting that raise, or having a better relationship with that family member or with that friend. And I have definitely had some different struggles personally of, I want that gratification very quick. I'm I've been working so hard. I've been doing XYZ. I'm ready to see results. And again, is it God's timing? We have to stay disciplined through the things that mean most to us to really see the outcome that we want. And I think the wrap around all of this is, when it comes to goal setting, we're always told it needs to be smart. It needs to be specific, measurable, actionable. Can you have reliability to it? And then the time of it, right? Putting a deadline on it. And I think those are great ways to set a goal. But what we need to really think about and pray about with setting goals is it God's timing? You then need to think about what group is going to hold you accountable to that. Who do you have in your corner that can help be words of encouragement, not just coming hard on you of, hey, you've slacked, you haven't done X, Y, or Z, but hey, you told me you wanted to do this, and I see that you're not necessarily making some of these things happen that you said you wanted to. What's going on in life? How can I pray for you? What kind of struggles do you have? Are you stressed from work? Is it a relationship thing? Or is it the billion other life things? How's your mental health and all of those things? It's important to have people like that. And in an effort of knowing that not everyone has those things, not everyone has prayer warriors in their corner, or just people in general, check on them, right? Even if you're not religious and you're not sure how you feel about God and your relationship with him, having people that are just positive influences in your life that help lift you up and help push you towards goals, and not making you feel bad about when the timing of them isn't right for you or when we struggle with it. So I'm actually going to be creating a small community on Facebook. We spend a month together just really trying to dive in, and we can all list out what our goals are or things that we've been struggling with that we want to work on. That can be a personal thing. It can be a Bible study thing. It can be for example, I've had neck pain forever and I have not done a true rehab program. So maybe for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to follow that, or spending time in peace and quiet in the morning before the chaos of the day comes. Maybe you've been trying to lose weight and you've been struggling to do that and you're just not even sure where to go or how to start, or you've set this goal so many times and you keep failing yourself that you just feel defeated right now. Let's come together. Let's form a community. Let's share some stories together. Let's have some fun with it and just lift each other up. This world has so much negativity, judgment. It has so many different people that are doing amazing things or acting like they're doing amazing things without effort, without struggles. And that is just so not life. Let's be honest. So let's create this group and let's help lift each other up, but be real with each other. Be vulnerable with each other. Let's have some discipline so we can get that gratification later on. But most importantly, let's be intimate and let's pray for God's timing with it, because that is everything in the end of the day. And if you truly let go of those stressors and of the things that you cannot control, if you pass those up to God, in my experience, does it happen immediately? No. But does he always find a way to turn around and then make it work out? And a lot of the times, way better than anything that you had planned for yourself. Absolutely. So let's do it. Let's have some fun. I appreciate you guys for listening, and I look forward to checking in with you soon.